good evening, everyone. Alexa, thank you. It's great to be here and to help honor a good friend who I've known for over 30 years, Jamie Drake. Half the people in this room weren't even born then. Now, it might surprise you that we share a passion for bright, bold colors, since my suits tend to run from navy blue to navy blue with pinstripes. But I have seen brilliance in action, both in my private and public life. About 20 years ago, we asked Jamie to revamp the historic Governor's Room at City Hall, and he did so with spectacular results. A few years later, as part of an effort to attract more visitors to Lower Manhattan, we decided to revamp the Marriage Bureau. At the time, the Marriage Bureau was kind of like an old DMV. It was dark and dingy, not exactly a great place to say, I do. So we turned to Jamie and he completely transformed it. And today it's a destination for couples from around the world. So forget Vegas. Now people elope downtown and enjoy a beautiful wedding day, thanks in no small part to Jamie. Jamie has also done a lot of work for our foundation, Bloomberg Philanthropies, and for my family too. His work is spectacular, and I can assure you that's also reflected in his bill.
Yeah, Jamie!
I can just tell you, you have no idea when you don't have a budget what he can do. But Jamie's great care and let's call it deliberation only speak to his passion for detail and his tireless pursuit of perfection. I'm glad to say too that Jamie brings the same thoughtfulness to giving back. He serves on several boards in the city, including the New York Community Trust, the Kips Bay Boys and Girls Club, and the Parsons School of Design. He also, you can give him a round of applause for that.
Yeah.
He also chairs a fabulous nonprofit called the Alpha Workshops, which supports, it supports disabled individuals with design-focused education and employment opportunities. So Jamie, you truly are making the world a better, brighter, and more beautiful place. You're a very deserving recipient of the Centennial Medal, which we have something here. I got to figure out which one to give you. And while I thought about presenting you tonight with some of the paint swatches that we've argued about over the course of our partnership, I think the following video that the team put together will serve as a more fitting tribute. Let us watch, and Jamie, on behalf of all of us, congratulations.
Hi, welcome to my home. I'm Jamie Drake. I am so excited to be accepting this wonderful award from the New York School of Interior Design. And this beautiful Baccarat vase will remind me of it always. When NYSID came to me and said they wanted to honor me with a Centennial Medal, I was, of course, thrilled and shocked. Did they think I was 100? Of course, in this industry, after doing this for over 4 decades, it might feel like that some days. The message I'd like to share with everybody tonight comes from my heart, and that is we're here to support the scholarships at New York School of Interior Design, and I love that you're all joining me in doing that and hope you will continue to. When I asked, how do you choose a Centennial Medalist and why I was chosen for this great honor, I was told that it was because it's not only the impact you've had in your design career, but the impact you've had on the world by doing good for others. And yes, I'm involved in a lot of other philanthropic efforts, and I've been supportive of so many organizations over the year because there is no end to need. Need is never ending, and I think to be able to help other people is such a gift. My affinity and desire to be an interior designer was innate, and I began really, really young. As a child, I would draw these fantasy interiors, dining rooms, living rooms, salons, on the backs of the cardboards that my father's shirts were wrapped around. I went to Parsons School of Design upon graduation from high school, and Zoom, 3 years later, I graduated, and literally 2 days after, I had 2 jobs come to me. It wasn't by design or great plan that I started my firm, but I started it in 1978. I believed in working hard, paying attention, paying my bills, with never an intent of becoming famous or successful. That was not what I was working towards. I just wanted to really do a good job and have a solid business. And the other things flowed from that. I always had a great love for variety. There was great traditionalism, and I adored it and loved getting to know antiques and traditional techniques and everything that went with that. And as the times have moved along, my horizons expanded and my visions got broader. And now I think people think of us as a firm of luxurious modernists, which we are at heart, but we still do some traditional projects, which you will see in the new book, The Interiors of Drake Anderson, Bold, that will be coming out this September. A recent memorable project was definitely a collaborative effort, and it started with repeat clients who have that trust built in, which is a wonderful place to start. This specific project was a very interesting challenge because it was the combination of 2 quite large apartments combined into one single apartment, a total floor on a new tower down in Tribeca. There were immovable mechanical and structural issues, huge challenges, and yet they turned out to be our greatest assets once we figured out how to tame them, and they became the big statements in the project. The client's reaction when they walked in was wow, and as it should be, because it is a wow. But how exciting for a client. It's a wonderful opportunity for an adult to go into like the FAO Schwartz of adulthood, to be able to commission these spaces that are made just for them and can be so unique and so tailored to their personalities and needs. So many people have style or taste, and those arguable words, that discussion, but a formal design education benefits you beyond just having that innate skill set. There's training there that goes in that's essential to being the fullest interior designer you can be. When Caleb and I are looking at new employees for Drake Anderson, we look at their portfolios very carefully. We don't expect perfection, but we expect creativity and solutions that make sense and personality. I think one of the things I find so exciting and I'm proudest of in our industry is over the last few years, the renewed commitment or the new commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. And it is so important that we open our doors to wider communities of students and designers. One of the ways that this just comes right into our interior design industry is in the designs of textiles, furniture, lighting, museum exhibitions, and it broadens the whole dialogue. We live in a vast world, and it's made up of so many people. And to get those additional voices at the table, those visions, the culture into the discussion is just so exciting and so important. You know, I think education is important throughout your life. I know I'm still learning daily. Design education for the students is especially essential to make sure that we get to solve the problems of the world in creative and new ways with great solutions based on current technologies. I think the worst thing that a graduating student from NYSID could do is to think that they learned it all while they were at school. Because we never stop learning. There's always more information to be gleaned, processed, and presented.
Jamie, would you please join us at the stage? Mr. Bloomberg will be presenting Jamie with the Octagon Vase from Baccarat, and I will be giving Jamie the actual Centennial Medal, a sterling silver medallion designed by the artist Michele Oka Doner.
Michele Oka Doner.
Oh, really?
Yes?
Oh, I know her.
Yeah, perfect.
Big chandelier person living over there.
That's exactly right. Yeah, she's great.
Jamie, we celebrate your extraordinary body of work. We admire your elegant, exuberant, and highly personalized spaces. And above all else, we respect your drive to use design to improve the human condition. The New York School of Interior Design is pleased to present Jamie Drake with the NYSID Centennial Medal.
Wow. Okay, is it my turn?
That's your turn, sir.
Okay. Alexa, David, Alexa. Siri, where do I go next? Okay, thank you. Okay, so here is a lesson in that fabulous video, which I really enjoyed enormously. Shows me that I should have gotten Botox before I shot it, not after. Secondly, it was shot so long ago that I didn't remember, but David Boatman and Boatman Media did a fantastic job. And so, yes, it makes my written words completely redundant. So I'm going to be brave enough to try and wing it and try and maybe just look at a few high points. I am completely honored and touched to be receiving this award, 100%. It's amazing because the Centennial Award, as was mentioned, has only been given to a few people. And indeed, I did shriek and say centenarian. Oh, no, that's not 100, it's a Centennial Medal. And so that was great. There are so many people that have been a part of me getting up here tonight and accepting this award. And they include my parents, my late parents, who always encouraged my creativity, and my father, who gave me those shirt cardboards. And those were done, the dates. The earliest one was 11 years old, and the other one was 12 years old. So I always had a penchant for interior design, and that's what I wanted to do. It was quite clear. There are also, of course, all of the incredible vendors, craftsmen, tradespeople, contractors, and everything you can think of that leads to the success of our projects. There are all the people I've had the pleasure of working with over the years, the ones who I work with currently and the ones who I worked with in the past, and of course Caleb, my business partner. And of course, there are our clients, and Mike being numero uno, and Diana, who have always encouraged my creativity and allowed me to do things. And Mike is the rare client, all too rare, as you may know, who actually goes into a project when it's installed and finished and calls up and says, "Congratulations, it's fantastic. I mean, it's unbelievable. I'd only change one thing." But but he really is always just one thing, and it's one minor thing, like maybe I need another table lamp, or maybe I feel this step is slippery on the outside, and there will be brass treads there, but the next time you go, so nobody will slip in the rain. And so the greatest reason, and I know I'm over my 30 seconds they allotted me tonight, and Alexa, this is such a incestuous industry. Alexa and I are co-chairs of the Kips Bay Boys and Girls Club. Corey and I are co-chairs of the Kips Bay Boys and Girls Club President's Dinner. Yes, I sit on the New York Community Trust, so happily and proudly it's 18 years now. I was appointed by Mike, and there is no end to need, but tonight we're here not because of me, but you're all here because of scholarship and because of students past and present who have benefited from scholarship and the future of design. And so I also think back to mentorship. Laura, who we're going to be honoring later. Hello, Laura. Actually did an internship in my office. And so it's wonderful that we're both being honored tonight. But mentorship is never ending. Mike, I was introduced to 36 years ago by a very, very dear friend who had such knowledge, erudition, education, and passion for the decorative arts, and he had belief in me, and he introduced me to Mike, and that was my very, very dear friend Philip Hewitt-Jabor, who died just 4.5 weeks ago. Many of you knew him. And so I will go on forever thinking about the continuity of scholarship and education and opportunity. And so I say, I was supposed to bring a glass. Let's raise a glass and toast the students of today and tomorrow and our teachers at school and throughout life. Cheers.